Hey everybody, I'm Lindsay Ferrier with Moms Matter, and we are beginning our swing state road trip today. Now our first stop is Youngstown, Ohio, which is known as kind of a down and out steel town in the Rust Belt. We're going to be talking to a group of moms there. And lately what you should know is that Ohio has seen something of a turnaround. The unemployment rate is down, demand for steel and cars is up. President Obama has been claiming credit for this turnaround. The question I have for the moms today is, are they buying it? You can tell by the crumbling buildings and abandoned homes of Youngstown that this industrial city in northeastern Ohio has been struggling for decades. Yet glimmers of an economic resurgence are starting to appear, enough to convince Youngstown native Maggie Pence to relocate from New York.
The parts of Youngstown that I lived in as a child are now boarded up, gone, burnout, really still pretty depressing. And they were really nice places to live when I was little. Why we came back was we were starting to see this upswing. We were starting to see revitalization. We were starting to see young people come back. And it's just continued sort of since we've been back.
These moms agree that Ohio is seeing some positive changes, but that's about all they agree on. First of all, raise your hand if you have decided who you're going to vote for in November. Half of these moms are Democrats, half Republicans, and they represent a microcosm of Ohio voters. Both presidential candidates are hoping to secure Ohio's 18 electoral votes, and it's an especially important state for Mitt Romney. No Republican has ever become president without winning Ohio. If these moms are any indication, he has some serious work to do.
Although Mitt Romney would not be my first choice overall, since he's really my only conservative choice, he would be who I'm voting for.
I'm voting for President Obama. I believe in many of the programs he has put forward, particularly health care, and I would like to see what he can do with a second term.
I have always been in the middle. I find myself really conservative in some ways, and in other ways I'm completely liberal. The first time I voted for Barack Obama, I can't say that I'm dissatisfied, but I do think, like Jen said, that there could be some better options.
For his part, President Obama is trying to win Ohio's undecided voters by claiming credit for the auto industry's resurgence. The auto industry is important to these moms. Many Youngstown residents work at the GM plant in nearby Lordstown.
We got the companies to retool and restructure. Everyone sacrificed. And 3 years later, the American auto industry is back. Today, GM is the #1 automaker in the world.
I do think that he can take credit for the GM situation, and that does benefit our area. We went from a struggling 1 shift to 3 shifts, the plant going 24 hours. And in this area, when Lordstown is booming, this area is chugging along. I'm not going to give him full credit for, I think actually our previous mayor, Jay Williams, who he poached from us and put onto a federal position, actually did the most for this community and for its economic revival.
And I would agree with that. I mean, there's just been a ton of revitalization that's happened in our downtown area, in the areas that are most affected by blight, and I really think that our former mayor, Jay Williams, is responsible for a lot of the decisions that were made that are just now coming to fruition.
Recently, Obama has pulled ahead pretty far of Romney here in Ohio. What do you guys think is responsible for that?
He's been very, very present here in Ohio. I think he's been to Ohio more than he's been to any other state. So I think we're seeing a lot of him, and he's really trying to relate to us on a personal level, making appearances in our communities, and I think that's worked in his favor.
We're a very split state. I mean, you can see right here, we all kind of know each other, and we're literally 50-50.
What else is important to these moms? One of their biggest concerns is drilling for natural gas, otherwise known as fracking. It's happening here in Youngstown, and some want stronger regulations on fracking to protect their air quality and water.
It really scares me to be in a situation where I can't trust my local drinking water because some people are going to make some money.
Of course I want jobs for people, and people need to have opportunities to work and to support their families. But the costs are ridiculous.
If we think that regulation is going to solve all those problems, we're short-sighted. Regulation in the long run really makes things more costly
You know, which one of us doesn't want to drive in our minivan or SUV to get here with our kids? But yeah, if we want gas prices to stay low, we also need to, you know, research and go after things that are available.
Also on their minds, the new healthcare law.
The more that I've looked into it, the more that I see it's really a very compassionate program. There are a lot of real pluses in the program to help families. How we're going to pay for this is really the question.
To me, it didn't go far enough, and that's the easiest way to say it, is that I really, in my heart of hearts, I think universal health care. I think like all the other industrialized, you know, nations, I think that's the way we need to move.
What about public education? I know that's big with moms. What are your feelings about public education, and who do you think might be better at addressing that?
I don't think the public school system is working. We have a lot of kids in our neighborhood that even the 6th graders cannot read.
What's going on in the home, I think, is where it starts. It's not the teachers' jobs to be fixing these children that are coming from these homes of neglect, and I don't think that that's something that education should try to fix.
If you think solving all of these issues is beyond the powers of either candidate, well, some of these moms seem to agree with you.
A lot of people on both sides are not really satisfied.
And their hopes for Ohio's future are tempered by memories of its past.
Well, there's definitely a sense of optimism among the moms here in Youngstown, but there's also a deep skepticism over whether either candidate is really right for the job. With so many different opinions, it's really easy to see why Ohio is a swing state. And next up, we're going to visit another swing state, Pennsylvania. See you there. For CafeMom, I'm Lindsay Ferrier.